Right.
मी मॉन्टेसरी.
So today, honestly, the first you present this, maybe in 10 minutes or so, try to wrap it up in 10 minutes because we got 2-3 big cases. 10 to 15 minutes for the whole thing. Honestly, एक बार
Oh, can you hear me?
कर present.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. मी बोलेलं ऐकू नाही येते. मी
Okay.
बोलेलं माझं ऐकू येते.
नाही, माझं ब्लूटूथ कनेक्ट होत नाहीये. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear me? मी बोलेलं ऐकू येते का तुला? ते ब्लूटूथ
Yes.
हां.
Yes.
शेअर कर.
Yeah. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So basically, let me just include my analysis was that as you always say, we've got to first decide who is the Udayam. So I thought maybe there are three options. One is to take the daughter herself as an Udayam. So I think the mother wants to know if her youngest daughter, her second daughter, will get married. So you can take the daughter as Udayam, or you can take the mother and then child, fifth house, or maybe mother and then the second child, which will be the seventh house. But I have gone with daughter as the Udayam to see if she will get married, like her Bhagya and all of that. So if this is the Udayam, which I've marked in orange over here, then obviously first house, that ninth Rashi and Jupiter is the Udayam Lord. If we want to look at the daughter's marriage, then we look at the seventh house, which will be this house, and which is the third Rashi, and the Lord is Mercury. And in each one of them, I've basically said for the first house, it's overall well-being of the girl. Ninth Rashi will be her Bhagya. Jupiter will again be Bhagya. Seventh house, we look at for marriage and spouse. Third Rashi, efforts, longevity, away from home, depending on the case that we're looking at. Mercury, again, we can look at engagement or communication. Then Bhagya of the marriage, I have said we look at the ninth house from the seventh house. So which is from here, if we look at the ninth house, then it becomes that one, which is the third house from the daughter, or ninth house from the marriage or the spouse, which is Rashi 11, which is also Ichhapurti, Saturn, which is karma, delay, darkness. Then I looked at Karak, Badhak, Marak. Karak is 159, so there's Jupiter, Mars, and Sun, which basically touches on overall well-being, Soch, further studies, Bhagya, new beginning. Then I looked at Badhak, which is the seventh house. So for this Udayam, the Badhak will be this house, which is the Lord is Mercury, and that again relates to marriage and spouse. And then Marak is second and seventh house, which is Saturn and Mercury. Again, that touches on addition to family, marriage, etc. So some of the observations I made was that Jupiter, the natal Jupiter, which is Bhagya, is seated in her seventh house. Actually, I better stay on that. Is in her seventh house of marriage in the nakshatra of Rahu, which you can look at when you say the season ball, leather ball. You can look at it as a disruptor, or you can look at it to make something positive out of it, which is foreign. And then seventh house also becomes her Badhak house. My other observation was Venus, natal Venus, which relates to relationships and spouse, is seated in her seventh house of marriage in the nakshatra of Rahu. So again, same as above, disruptor or foreign. Mercury, natal, is the Badhak lord of the seventh house of marriage. It's seated in the eighth house of obstacles and longevity.
खालचं दिसत
Huh?
नाही. खालचं दिसत नाहीये.
In the eighth house, eighth house of obstacles.
We can't see your whole chart. We have to see all the planets. No, आता वरचं करतो ना.
Okay, hang on. Is that better?
Yeah. Okay. बस.
आणि मग which is the lord of the second house, which is addition to family. तिकडे sun आहे with new beginning in the nakshatra of Mercury, which is again Badhak lord, communication. Another observation, the Udayam lord Jupiter in the 9th house of Bhagya in the nakshatra of Venus, which is spouse relationship, with natal Ketu, which is cut again, or detachment again in nakshatra of Venus, which is spouse. Snake, confusion in the nakshatra of Sun, which is new beginning, is coming towards Udayam, I said. Why did I say that? Yeah, well, yeah, coming towards Udayam. Jupiter is the Karak Lord and Udayam Lord in the 9th house of Bhagya or higher education, in Rashi 5 of further studies. Kavipu with Mars, which is marriage in nakshatra of Rahu, again disruptor if you look at it negatively, or foreign, something foreign if you look at it positively, is coming towards the Udayam. Lord Jupiter, which is new beginnings in nakshatra of ते इकडे आहे वाटतं, इकडे. Yeah.
Kavipu is here and it's in Ketu.
I think I looked at it here also.
This is not
Row 20.
Ketu.
Yeah. केतूचं मी वरती म्हटलं over here.
Like a degree, others will not know whether Kavipu is coming towards Saturn or Saturn is coming towards Kavipu.
And then I've said 11th house of Ichha Purti has Kavipu with Mars and in the nakshatra of Rahu.
Kavipu Lord with Mars.
Yeah, Kavipu Mars. Yeah, correct. And yeah, I just said planets in the Badhak house can cause more damage than the Badhak Lord or Badhakesh. And my general analysis, so everything, putting everything together, my general analysis was that there seem to be obstacles or red flags with the daughter getting married. However, if she considers higher education or further studies or potentially something away from home, then maybe there is some good that can come out of it.
So basically, you have analyzed it considering this as the doctor, while I considered mother because she was asking the question. So anyway, so let's cross check it. All of you now just pitch in now because I have understood 50% of it, 50% I have not understood. So let's try that. So Udayam is here. Snake is coming towards Udayam in Sun. Now, if anyone has the original chart of mine, can you tell me whether Saturn is coming to Kavipu or Kavipu is going to Saturn? Do you have that? Let me see. I think Saturn is coming to Kavipu. Saturn is going to Kavipu. Kavipu is going to.
Sorry.
So basically, this is the house of that girl's marriage. This is the Bhagya of the marriage. Correct? So she is seated in her marriage house. Better change my name.
Just, I need to mute myself. Or Dada, mute me, please. I can't find my mute button.
Barking. Okay. So basically, Udayam Lord Jupiter is seated in the 7th house of marriage, but in Rahu. Correct? And Venus, which happens to be the 6th Lord and 11th Lord, is also in Rahu. Okay. So that is one problematic situation in the thing. So basically, if you look at just this, we can say that the Udayam Lord relationship come 6th Lord and 11th Lord is seated in the 7th house of marriage, 3rd house of natural Bhagya of marriage with Rahu, which is a disruptor. Okay, so this is talking about the marriage. Now, if we see the Bhagya of the marriage, again here you see the same thing. This was the technique which I was telling you, the Rahu technique which has come up. Let's see the number of, when I explain from mine, I'll explain better because I've highlighted them. You all wanted to know that other technique which has come up. So basically, if you see, I am quantifying how many times this Rahu has come here. If you see here, Jupiter, the Udayam Lord, has come twice over here. And here it is seated with Rahu, which is a natural disruptor, and it is seated with Moon, which is the eighth Lord. Eighth Lord, and Moon is also basically emotional ups and downs because it is seated with Rahu. So Rahu creates a partial grahan of this. Okay. Now, if you want to take it one step further, the Lord of this guy, which is Mercury, it's written here. Where is he seated? Mercury is seated. It will be here. So Mercury is seated in the 8th house. So 7th Lord is seated in the 8th house with Saturn, who happens to be the 3rd Lord, Bhagya of the marriage. And now again you see here, this is what has started coming up very often. Mercury in Saturn, Mercury in Saturn. When a planet comes in the same Rashi in Jamakol, it is like a compounded effect. And if it comes further in the same nakshatra, it is a double compounded effect. Along with that sun, which happens to be the Bhagya of the native, is seated in Mercury, which happens to be the marriage of the native. So the 8th house of obstacles has got basically the 7th Lord marriage, 3rd Lord Bhagya of marriage, 9th Lord Bhagya of the person, and once again 7th Lord of marriage. By the way, 7th and 10th Lord, 10th is also considered as status in society. You understand? So that has got, and it is hitting Mercury with Saturn. So actually, I think what Manasi has got is something which I had not checked, which was checking it from the girl's point of view. So I think even from there, it is coming confirmed. All of you can hear me, just do this, don't unmute, just do this now. So basically, see, that is one thing which I had realized long back, that the confusion whether to take it from the girl's side or from the mother's side or whatever, it will finally boil down to the same answer. The only thing was that in my rush of too many cases, I didn't check it from the angle which Manasi had done. So I think that's a good job which is done. And main thing, if you see a snake, which is crisis or confusion, is coming towards Udayam in the sun, which is the 9th Lord. Sun is also basically, it can also be considered a father in certain paddhatis, it is as husband. In certain paddhatis, it is taken. It is in the 10th Rashi. 10th Rashi is basically status in society, and 2nd house, which is addition to family. So that is another thing. And if you see here, this is one important point now. If you see this, 9th is what? Bhagya of the girl, as per how Manasi is looking at it. And Mercury is her 7th house of marriage, is seated in the 12th house, R8, of marriage also. Mars also marriage. Can you see this confirmation? So basically, when you confirm it from different angles, it is going to give the result. On top of that, again, you want to go further, 5th house of relationships. Okay, that has got Kaviku, disruptor, Ketu, cut, Saturn, 3rd Lord, which is 9th from the 7th, my Bhagya of marriage, again Ketu, cut. Can you see? So basically, one more thing I want to check. Mercury, Saturn. Okay. This Mercury in Saturn also, which is coming up, so like a final the killer blow is this Mercury in Saturn in the 8th house. So Mercury is the 7th Lord. Mercury is also communication. Mercury is also some sort of a understanding. Saturn is a Pida Karak, and it is a Pida Karak because it is seated in the Moon Ka Rashi, which is inimical. So basically, it is not going to give good result. So all this put together is showing that even if we check it from the daughter's point of view, it is showing as a negative thing. Negative in the sense, shadi ho sakti hai, but it will end up in a separation or a divorce. Okay, you can stop sharing. I saying चांगलं केलं. Okay, so good. So good listing. Let me see if I can now. Okay. So what we'll do is now, I think in tandem with this only, let me take my version of the case, then Shipra, you take up your case. We'll discuss your case. So I'll just share the can you see this now? So 1 minute. I'll take it in Photoshop, it will be easier for me. Just 1 minute. Okay, I hope you can see this now. Okay, can all of you see this? Okay. So what I had done was a little different from what Manasi had done. So let's try that. I had considered this as Udayam as the mother who was asking. Okay, so this happens to be the first girl. This happens to be the second girl. One more technique is fifth from fifth also happens to be the second girl. So this also could be the second girl. So just give me all certain thoughts which came to me of late. So since we are looking at the second girl, we are looking at this. Okay. Now seventh also happens to be marriage. Seventh in this case also has got the Badak. Right? And the Badak Lord further has gone and sat in the 8th house. So that is one point. Now, if you go point by point,
No, but if we are taking the second daughter as a 7th house, then if for her, then it would be sitting in the second house, not in the that is 8th for the mother, but for the daughter it will be second.
perfect. So second for her is what? Addition to the family.
Addition to the family.
8th for everyone becomes what? Obstacles. Barabar?
8th
So
for the mother, we'll take it as mother or
general chart. When we take this as a mother or whatever, see there are 2 points. One is that you decide what you want this to be. That is point 1. But all these houses remain constant for that. Like this will be like a natural thing, that this will be addition to family. This will be whatever bhagya of marriage. This will be sukhastan. This will be relationships. All that. That is the same thing. So basically, this becomes the natural 8th house from the chart point of view. So what you're saying is
okay.
correct. So this is the second girl. So second girl herself is a Badak in the house of marriage. And the marriage has gone and sat in the second house for her, which is addition to family again, to the girl, which happens to be the 8th lord, 8th house. Again, you want further this Rashi of moon. Moon is again instability, ups and downs. Barabar? All those things also come into play. Barabar? Now you want further this, if you want to take this angle also, moon is seated here in the 3rd house of Bhagya of the marriage, natural Bhagya of marriage, or Bhagya of the girl. If you are taking this as the girl, then this becomes the Bhagya of the girl, second daughter. So from that angle also you can take. So there are various angles you can go by. What I wanted to tell you all is this. Okay, have you gone through this, all of you, and understood this? Then I'll not waste time explaining. I'll tell you the technique which has come up. All okay, okay, okay. So basically, what I'm saying is what came to my mind that day. Yeah, obviously Rahul only gave it to me. Is now let me just give you some pointers. This is the second daughter which we are talking about just now. Correct? This is the marriage of the second daughter which we are talking about. And this is the bhagya of the second marriage of the thing. Okay. Because marriage to hoga. So what is going to happen? So this, if you see, I have made it in pink. Okay. Pink is that sun. Pink is not sun. I've just highlighted it in pink, but the Lord happens to be sun. And the pink is Venus for it. Now you see where all the pinks are getting highlighted. If you see here, there is a parivartan in the sun. So not parivartan, there is a connection between sun and Mercury and sun and Mercury. So sun is what the bhagya of marriage of the girl, and Mercury is the girl. And Mercury is also the fourth house for the girl, which is her Sukhasthan. So if you see the Surya, so crisis in bhagya of the marriage of the second daughter is coming to the, this is the mother. Okay. So the confusion or crisis in the bhagya of the marriage of the second daughter is coming to the mother. So here that sun is getting highlighted. Here if you see Surya, which is the bhagya, again Surya, that pink is the bhagya of the marriage. It is in the 12th house. Correct? It also has Mandi over there. Mandi is again like a negative this thing. Okay. Then in the house of sun itself, Ketu in Venus. So Venus we know is relationship. Venus is here the 11th lord, the 6th lord. So Jhagda in Ichhapurti related to relationships. Again Ketu cut. Then where is that fellow? One more was there. This sun and Mercury. If you see, I'm deleting all this. Just see this pink connect or pink link, what I call. If you see sun in Mercury, so over here, what is sun? Sun is the bhagya of the marriage, and Mercury is what? The girl, and the girl Sukhasthan also, if you want to take that, is connecting the 12th house, 8th Rashi to sun in Mercury here again in the 8th house, 4th Rashi. So if you see 8, 12, 8, 4, that also tells one story. So 8th is obviously obstacles, 12th is obviously Vyayasthan, loss, 4th is Sukhasthan. Are you getting it? So that is another connection which is showing up. So what that technique which I wanted to share with you was this. If you see over here, if you see even the 8th house, the transits are telling a story. Mercury, daughter, Saturn, bhagya of the daughter, Surya, bhagya of the marriage of the daughter, Mercury, Sukhasthan, all in the 8th house of obstacles, 4th Rashi moon of Sukhasthan. Again, here if you see same fellow, Mercury, daughter and Sukhasthan of the daughter, Saturn, bhagya of the daughter, the Lord moon goes and sits here, with Jupiter, which is the marriage of the daughter, and the 10th lord of the daughter, seated with Rahu, which is a disruptor in Jupiter, which is again the marriage of the girl and the status society. in the third house, which is the natural bhagya of marriage, natural Kalpurush Kundali, this thing. 11th Rashi, which is the Ichha Purti. And further, if you see this moon, and this is what I was telling you, these things are cropping up quite often nowadays. Moon in Jupiter, moon in Jupiter. So basically, what is moon? 8th lord plus emotions. Jupiter is what? The marriage of the girl, and the 10th house, the status of this girl, is seated in the third house, which is not only the bhagya of the marriage, the third is 8th from 8, that is obstacles ka bhava. Here, if you see moon, same thing, moon, Jupiter, same thing, is seated in the fourth house, which is Sukhasthan, 12th Rashi, which is Vyayasthan. He is seated with Saturn. Now just see how many times Saturn has come here. Saturn, which is basically the bhagya of the second daughter, as well as the natural second lord of addition to family. Further, that Saturn, if you see in Ketu, which is a cut, is coming towards Kavipu in a cut, which is connecting to the moon, which we just discussed all over. And again, that connection. So if you see the connection, then one more thing, this green link, if you see, the second daughter's marriage, which is seated in Jupiter, gets connected here, where if you see, I have written here, Jupiter is in Venus. Okay. Is in the natural 5th house of relationships. Has got Ketu, which is a cut in relationships. From here, it goes, connects, goes and sits here. That is the bhagya of, it is seated, the daughter's marriage is seated in the bhagya of the marriage. Sorry, my mistake, let me read this thing. This is going to go off in 10 minutes. I'll try to finish it before that. The second daughter's marriage is seated in the bhagya of the second daughter's marriage. The second daughter marriage is seated in Venus, which is the relationship. It is also the 6th and 11th lord, which can mean 6th is again Jhagada, obstacles, 11th is Ichha Purti, 11th is also 6th from the 6th. So that way also it is bad. Again, this confirms that thing where it is Ketu in cut in the relationship. All this has gone and sat here as Sun in Mercury. So Sun is the bhagya of the second daughter's marriage. Mercury is the second daughter and her 4th house of Sukhasthan, seated in the 12th house, 8th Rashi, along with Mandi in Saturn. Saturn happens to be the bhagya of the girl as well as the third lord of bhagya of natural marriage. So basically, these links which I show, green links, that tells you, and all this finally culminates into the 12th lord of Vyayasthan in Rahu, which is a disruptor, seated in the 11th house of Ichha Purti and 7th natural Rashi of marriage. And Mars is also Kara of marriage. Okay. I'll just stop it up because it did go. Oh, it's got 8 minutes more. Okay. But I'll share it again. Sorry, I thought it was almost done.
Dada, do we consider her doing anything foreign to be able to reverse the negatives?
Let me see. See, this is the, if we consider that, then this is the second daughter's marriage, which is Jupiter. Jupiter could have like Jupiter is here. Jupiter is seated in the Surya Rashi. It is not in the. Don't थोड़ा काम करो. Hello. थोड़ा काम करो. Jupiter, if you're saying marriage in a foreign this thing, why do you say marriage in a foreign country? Because that sun has gone to this thing. The green link is finally When you're saying because of this, is it you're saying the bhagya of the second daughter's marriage in 12 dasa?
No, and I think also Rahu to reverse the negatives of like Rahu, you can look at it as a disruptor.
This could be that. Yeah, you're right. Because Rahu is foreign and Jupiter is the second daughter's marriage from my analysis point of view. And third is away from home. Yeah, you're right. And moon is also travel. And Jupiter is again this thing. Yeah, maybe that is right. So now we have to see where snake is. Where is that snake? So snake in ninth, which is Bhagya of the daughter.
Actually, looking at your screen now, you've said foreign language there. How did you get foreign language?
Because moon is teacher. Moon is mother. Mother is the first teacher. So moon is this thing. It is
Jupiter is Guru.
Jupiter is Guru. Moon is a teacher. Moon is seated with the second lord, which is Saturn. Where is it seated with Saturn? Here. Moon is seated with Saturn. This one I was saying. This moon in Jupiter, moon in Jupiter. So moon is seated with the second lord. Second lord is speech. Okay. Jupiter is a teacher. Rahu is a foreign. So that is why I said that if she teaches a foreign language, it might be useful.
Even Mercury may be communication language.
Yeah, I don't remember what this one I'm confused. Second lord to
I just saw actually that you said foreign language there.
I
Anyway,
have
so foreign sounds like foreign, something foreign.
second lord to second daughter. This is second lord to second daughter. Moon, this is the second daughter. So moon is the second lord to the second daughter. So that is her speech. Moon is a teacher. Now I want to show whatever. Jupiter is also guru teacher. Rahu is foreign. So the bhagya of the second girl has got all these things. No? So that is what. So I have to confirm that with that lady whether this is happening or not. No, but what you are saying just now also might make sense. Because this Rahu, which is foreign country, and Jupiter, which is the daughter, Bhagya of the second daughter.
Bhagya.
This Rahu, which also talks about snake, is seated in Sun, which is the third lord for the daughter and the ninth lord for the Bhagya. Bhagya of marriage and all that is both here only.
New beginnings?
Whatever, new beginnings. And moon, which will also mean travel. 8, which will mean a major transformation. In Jupiter, which is again the Bhagya of the girl, is seated with Rahu. Yeah, very good. That is also one thing which I didn't see. Very good. Good. Anyone else has any other point? Otherwise, 36 seconds. No, 3 minutes 36. Anyone else has a point to say? Manasi, good point.
Thank you.
Okay, so 3 minutes. So just do some talking before that. So what I was trying to tell you, that technique which has come up is basically whichever house lord which we are trying to catch or karak which we are trying to catch, just see where all it is coming in the chart as a Jama planet, as a Nakshatra lord, or as a transit planet. One of these 3 it will come on, and see with what it is connected. So if it's a Jama planet, then what Nakshatra lord it is connected. If it's a Nakshatra lord, which planet it is connected with, which houses it is connected with, and that itself weaves a story. That is something which came up just around a week back. And I have tried it out on many charts, not many, but maybe a handful of charts. And it is giving a good story. It's sort of reconfirmation. So basically what we have come to, I feel now, is the regular conventional rules which are there, exalted this thing coming to them, Kavipu catching this, that, all that is all fine, that we have taken care of that. These are some new modulations or modalities which are coming up, where it is more of a more of a confirmation of the analysis. So if we say that this is happening over here, is it good or is it bad? Saturn is getting connected to Moon. So is Saturn a good thing happening to a good? Like Saturn can be also karma, Saturn can also be your career, and Moon can mean travel, or Moon can mean medical, or Moon can be nursing. So if Saturn is connected to Moon and we are looking at a nursing related thing, it is good. If we are not looking at that, then Saturn can be a Pida Karak hitting Moon, which will be the emotional content. Like what now Shipra's case, which is coming up next, you will see that at Rahu. I'll come to that. Okay, so I think let's just log off and log in because it's 1.5. Anyone else has to say anything? The 1.5 minutes left. Anyone who wants to ask anything over here? Or discuss or tell or convey? Nothing? Okay, so then let's just log off and come back in because then we can start afresh with Shipra's case.